Well, we've already seen several changes to our weather pattern across the high desert on this Wednesday alone, with even bigger changes as we go forward. Hey everyone, good afternoon. I'm Chief Meteorologist Darrell Whittinger from the Central Oregon Daily Weather Center. Now, a continued warming trend is expected with two different fronts rolling through the Pacific Northwest. So let's take a deep dive into your most reliable forecast. We're going to look at what's been happening, what's expected through the next couple of days, and how these changes are really going to impact us right here in Central Oregon. We'll start with what it looks like right here and right now. Tons of sunshine across the high desert. There are still some clouds over the Cascades, and you can see these with a couple cameras that are pointed out towards the west, including Lake Billy, Chinook, and the Oregon Hazards Lab camera in Bend. Both show a little bit of cloud cover over the Cascades. And through Hoodoo, near St. Ann Pass, we have some cloud cover at the top of Ed's Chair. But look at Bachelor at the top of Outback, looking towards the Sisters. Tons of sunshine. So it actually ended up making it feel much better across the high desert because we started off cold, dreary, gray, and there was some fog that was still lifting up. Once that dissipated, once the sun started to shine, we really started to feel a lot more comfortable. That direct sunshine definitely helped. I know as the clouds were thinning out during the 11 o'clock hour in Bend, I was about halfway up Pilot Butte doing a morning walk, and then those clouds started to thin out. It started to feel better, and I needed to shed a layer, and through the day, many of us needed to shed layers. Now, when we look through other cameras across the high desert from the Oregon Hazards Lab, all of them, each one of them show tons of sunshine with only a few clouds. On top of that, we have good air quality. Both the DEQ hourly average and the eSpace real-time sensors show pretty good air quality. The only one that's moderate is in Lapine. Now, when it comes to satellite and radar, there's really just not much to talk about across the high desert because of the clearing that we've already received. And even more sunshine is expected. So even when we look at the bigger picture, what we're seeing is this ridge of high pressure is bringing the three S's of high pressure. That's subsidence, sunshine, and stability. So even with the tail end of a weak front that's been rolling into the Pacific Northwest today, there are a few sprinkles around Vancouver and up the west slopes of the Cascades of Washington. In the high desert in Central Oregon, there's just there's no rain in sight, and B, there's very little cloud cover. So when we look a little bit more at the bigger picture and zoom out a little bit more, this is going to be important because through the next couple of days we start to see a shift in the weather pattern, and some of that comes from this system that's way out over the Pacific Ocean. So there is a low pressure and a cold front that's going to push through Thursday and Friday. But let's look at the bigger picture. We're going to zoom out even more. Go further out over the Pacific Ocean where this broad ridge of high pressure is centered. That's what's built into the Pacific Northwest. Now, the cold front that's going to roll through Thursday and Friday is just to the north of that high, and this high is going to eat away at it as it gets closer. But we have to go all the way out over the Pacific Ocean even more to see our next system. And keep in mind where this line is, that's where this satellite imagery ends because it only shows half of the globe. But there's a low pressure that's way off the tail end of the Aleutian Islands and another one that's just to its south. And these are going to merge together just south of the Aleutian Islands as they push through. As they continue to roll towards the east, they're going to combine force pretty much, and they're going to form a bigger system. That's the one that pushes in this weekend. But between now and then, we still have several days to go, several changes on the way, and a lot of these changes have to do with this ridge of high pressure and that next cold front. So when we take this little by little, what we're expecting through the next couple of days is the potential for some areas of fog tonight. Humidity is going to be a little bit lower. It's not going to be possible for everybody, and some AM frost is expected. But look at this. Some in and out light clouds are expected during the next 12 hours. By Thursday, we start off sunny where we have fog that's going to lift up and dissipate pretty quickly. And then by the afternoon hours, more clouds push through the Pacific Northwest, or into, I should say. This is the tail end of that next front. This next front isn't going to bring much in the way of precipitation because even through the rest of Thursday night, going into Friday, we're staying dry. Now, the mountains could get a few sprinkles. The mountains could get some showers, maybe some flurries. But on our lower elevations, we're pretty much just going to be dry with in and out out clouds. Winds will be breezy on Friday, but look at this. By the afternoon, we're already clearing out. In fact, that clearing really takes shape after sunrise on Friday. Now, temperatures are not going to warm up like we have been by the time we get to Friday. That's the biggest change up we're looking at with this next cold front. It's going to be a weak system, but we are looking at the potential of it just slowing down our warming trend and bringing some extra clouds with winds getting breezy at times. And when it comes to relative humidity, we have moderate conditions across the high desert, ranging from 38% in Warm Springs to 56% in Sun River, 57% humidity in Sister. So it's not dry, it's just not as moist as you'd like it to be. And what's interesting about that is it's not dry at the surface, but when we go ahead and look at water vapor imagery, we do see a slot of dry air right over Central Oregon. Now the yellow is very dry air, the blue is still dry, but it's kind of clearing out towards the east because of this weak front that's to our north, the one that has some sprinkles right around Portland. But when we go ahead and look at temperatures, in the last 24 hours, highs have mostly been in the 50s with some 60s. Now today, we did warm up a little bit more. We saw fewer 60s than I thought we were going to see, but look at this. 50s, 64 degrees in Warm Springs, and temperatures are still running between 2 and 14 degrees warmer than just 24 hours ago. So temperatures are still much warmer. We still had 50s. I said some 60s this time yesterday. I would have liked to see a few more 60s, to be honest, but we'll be getting that tomorrow. Look at this. Overnight temperatures fall back into that cold freezing range. We're talking 20s and 30s. Now some of us don't actually dip below freezing, but many of us will. And by tomorrow on Thursday, we're topping out in the lower to mid 60s across the high desert. Remember, increasing PM clouds are expected. So this is how it really plays out. By your morning bus stop, we're looking at 30s and some 20s for lows. Now, a few clouds are expected with the potential of some freezing fog, and also the potential for some areas of frost where the fog doesn't set up. By the afternoon, 60s, more PM clouds, a light breeze. That puts us closer to average for this time of the year, just not quite there. So Thursday, under the same ridge of high pressure, we get a little more warming. Highs in the 60s with some 50s. That's seasonal across the high desert. Then by the time we get to Friday, more clouds start to roll in on Thursday. More clouds are sticking around Friday morning, but they begin to clear out. Now, it's still seasonal conditions, highs in the 60s, and as that cold front pushes off to the east, we're revealing tons of sunshine once again. That sunshine continues through Saturday, and our next system just offshore, because remember, it rolls in Saturday night and continues through Sunday and into Monday. And so between now and Friday at 11 p.m., we are dry across the high desert. So let's time this out a little bit better. We do have roller coaster temperatures on the way, and by this weekend, some mountain snow is expected with more precipitation and then wintry mix even in our lower elevation. So here's how it plays out. Tonight, we are looking at some light clouds. Areas of fog are possible. Elsewhere, we're looking at frost. Thursday, sunshine, more clouds roll in during the PM. Friday, clouds thin out pretty early. We're back to sunshine and just some light clouds through Saturday. But then Saturday night, this next system moves through the region. This is the one that's going to bring all the changes, but it's at the tail end of our forecast model. So we have to look at the extended forecast model, the long range one, and that's the GFS. And it does show that clouds start to roll in by Saturday evening. Saturday night, we begin to get showers, and then snow levels fall. So through the day Sunday, mountain snow is expected, and yes, including our passes. By Sunday night, some snow showers in the lower elevations that linger into Monday. By Monday, we get our clearing, in and out clouds during the next couple of days as temperatures begin to rebound. So when it comes to totals, we're not looking at too much between now and Saturday at 11 p.m. But fast forward past that, and we have this next system rolling in, and we are expecting some mountain snow with a few dusting areas in our lower elevations, and not much is expected in the lower elevations. It's mostly going to be a mountain snow thing. Wintry mix is going to be possible. Now, wind gusts in the last hour or so haven't been too strong, about 5 to 15 miles per hour. Actual wind speeds are at a light breeze and out of the north. Now, it could get breezy at times during the next couple of hours, but a light breeze is expected tonight and Thursday and Friday. Now, Friday, we can actually see some wind speeds picking up on the backside of that weak system. But when it comes to tonight, we're talking 20s and 30s. Most of us, if not all of us, either near or below freezing. By Thursday, we're looking at 60s on the high desert, increasing clouds through the day. Friday brings clearing. Saturday brings sunshine and 70 Now we're talking mid to upper 60s and lower to mid 70s across the high desert. Sunday and Monday, that's when our next system rolls through the Pacific Northwest. Not only are we looking at more precipitation and wintry mix in the lower elevations, but stronger winds and a big dip in temperatures is expected. But by Tuesday and Wednesday, under that additional sunshine, we are back to warming across the high desert. That is the latest in weather. A quick recap of your weather headlines include cold starts and warming days ahead. 60s are expected Thursday and Friday. Remember that warming trend slows down because of a weak cold front that brings in more clouds. But the next stronger system holds off till this weekend. Again, that's the latest in weather. Join us tonight on Central Oregon Daily News with the latest headlines and your most reliable forecasts. See you then.